Green. Well, good evening everybody and welcome to our Cabinet meeting for 3rd of September 2024. This meeting is being live streamed, just so you're all aware, it's on the Council's YouTube channel. If I can make a start then on item 1, declarations of interest. Does anybody have any interest to declare? I have an interest to declare on one of the items later in the agenda as the Chair of Broadland Living. Thank you. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Yes, Chair. We have apologies from Councillor Hartley.
Thank you very much. And then the minutes of the Cabinet meeting held on the 16th of July. I was not present at that meeting, so I'm relying on members here to confirm whether those are true and accurate record.
Happy to confirm them, Chair.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. So that's item 3. And then that moves us on to item 4. There is public speaking. Do we have any members of the public who've requested to speak at this meeting?
No public speaking, Chair.
Thank you. In that case, I move on to Overview and Scrutiny Committee, and I'm aware that the Chair and the Vice Chair are absent. I wonder if there's any member of Overview and Scrutiny who's present who would like to just give us an overview of what happened. Thank you.
So we met last week for the first time for a few weeks. Good discussions on the papers tonight. There were some queries on the exempt items, but it was good discussions all round.
Lovely, thank you very much. I think perhaps we will ask you again at the point where we reach the exempt items, so then you have an opportunity to put any of those points that you may wish to raise with us. That's all right. Thank you. Any other non-Cabinet members who would like to make any comments or representations at this meeting?
Yeah, I'm just going to make a comment to say that over the years, for the whole time I've been at Broadland for many years, we have always been a council that does not believe in borrowing, in using the reserves to cleverly. All right.
Yeah, below the line. You'll have an opportunity when we get to that point. Thank you. In that case, I think what we'll do is move on then, and we'll move on to the revised complaints policy. So if you'd like to come... Oh, you're here already. Would you like to give us your update on that, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The report in front of you details the revised complaints policy, which has been updated in line with the new Housing Ombudsman and Local Government Ombudsman Complaint Handling Code. Both Ombudsmen released new complaint handling code in 2024, and whilst these were separate codes, they were largely aligned. The Housing Ombudsman Complaint Handling Code became statutory from the 1st of April 2024, and a new complaint handling policy was implemented from this point. We would now like to have a singular complaints policy which takes all the guidance from both codes into account so we can handle all complaints consistently. The purpose of the complaints policy is to outline the governance and structure of how we handle complaints corporately, and the table on page 17 in the report highlights the key changes between the existing policy and the revised policy. The main changes being we're defining a service request now within the policy. We've included some exclusions to help complainants go down the right route and process. For example, in appeals processes where they might come through as a complaint, we're pushing them down the appeals process now. A change to the number of working days to deal with complaints at stage 1 and stage 2, and amendment to the complaint handling responsibility, and we're introducing a self-assessment which will be going to audit yearly in March. And the process and guidance that sits along the policy will be updated to reflect any changes, and all staff will receive relevant training. And I'll stop there for any comments or questions.
Lovely, thank you very much. Would you like to say something, Dan?
Thank you. As a portfolio holder, I'd endorse the policy as put forward and urge cabinets to do the same and to pass it on to council. As has been pointed out, this is largely a tidying up exercise that we're undertaking at the moment, which makes a lot of sense. I think one area you're always looking for a win in these things, and I think as far as residents is concerned, if you look at page 18, you'll see that this new policy, we aim to sort complaints at as early a stage as possible. You'll see that stage 1 now has a 10-day working day limit on it. It used to be 15, so hopefully we'll be responding to things quicker under this new policy and resolving complaints a lot swifter. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any comments they'd like to make?
I'm just to endorse it and to say it makes absolute sense to consolidate the complaints policies into one, rather than having the separate ones.
Well, the only comment I'd like to make actually is that thank you for the table, because that was really helpful. It's really nice to be able to see what's changed. And I think what came clear about this is where previously it might have been a bit ambiguous. What you've actually done is extended the wording and made it more specific as to how we deal with that, which I think can only be a good thing, can't it really? So I'm really happy with it. So I'm happy to endorse that as well. So if nobody else has any comments, shall we just take that to the vote? And are we all happy to take that forward to council? So that takes us then to the forward plan, which I think you all have access to. Does anybody have any comments on the forward plan? I don't think there's anything much to say. We seem to be pretty much on track. So if anybody's got nothing less to say on that. Okay, thank you very much. So that was speedy, wasn't it? In that case, this brings us to... Hang on, I've turned over too many pages again, as I regularly do. The exclusion of the press and public. I move that the press and public be excluded from the meeting for the remaining items of business, because otherwise information which is exempt information by virtue of paragraph 3 of part 1 of schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, as amended by the Local Government Access to Information Variation Order of 2006, would be disclosed